The Zephyrian hunting vessel Apex Predator descended through Earth's atmosphere like a falling star, its bioluminescent hull pulsing with predatory satisfaction. Commander Vexthul stretched his forearms, each ending in razor-sharp talons that had torn through the flesh of 100 different species across the galaxy. Today would mark his greatest trophy yet. "Scan complete, Commander," his subordinate hissed through mandibles that clicked with excitement. The dominant species shows no advanced weaponry, primitive chemical projectiles at best. Their largest settlements are completely unshielded. Vexthul's compound eyes gleamed. For 3 millennia, the Zephyrians had been the galaxy's apex hunters, traveling from world to claim the strongest specimens of each species. Their ship's trophy hall contained the preserved remains of champions from 1,000 worlds, the crystal-boned titans of Kepler 442, the plasma-wielding ethereals of the Vega system, the psychic overlords of the Centauri colonies. But Earth's dominant species appeared laughably weak, bipedal creatures with no natural weapons, no chitin armor, no venom sacs or energy manipulation abilities. They seemed to spend most of their time staring at glowing rectangles. "Begin the hunt," Vexthul commanded. "Target their largest gathering center. I want their finest warrior brought to me alive." The ship materialized over downtown Manhattan at noon, casting its shadow across millions of humans who stopped to stare upward. Its hunting beam swept across the city, analyzing bone density, muscle mass, and neural activity. Finally, it locked onto its target. Marcus Chen had been having an ordinary Tuesday. The construction foreman was eating lunch on the 42nd floor of the skyscraper his crew was working on when the alien ship appeared. He watched with the same mild curiosity he reserved for street performers as a beam of light surrounded him and began lifting him toward the vessel. "Huh," Marcus said around his sandwich. "That's new." Moments later, he found himself in a crystalline chamber facing a creature that looked like a cross between a praying mantis and a nightmare. The alien towered over him, its forearms spread wide, its mandibles clicking in what was probably meant to be intimidating. "Human warrior," Vexthul announced in perfect English, his voice a harmony of clicking sounds. "I am Commander Vexthul of the Zephyrian Hunt. You have been selected as the worthiest champion of your species. You will now fight me in ritual combat. If you somehow defeat me, your species will be spared. When you inevitably fall, you will join my collection of galactic trophies." Marcus finished chewing his sandwich and set the wrapper down carefully. He looked around the chamber, taking in the crystalline walls decorated with what were clearly the mounted heads of various alien species. Some still had expressions of terror frozen on their faces. "So," Marcus said conversationally, "you're basically space poachers." The alien's compound eyes flickered with confusion. "We are the galaxy's greatest hunters. We take only the strongest from each world to—" "Yeah, poachers," Marcus interrupted, standing up and dusting crumbs off his hard hat. "You know what we do to poachers on Earth?" Before Vexthul could respond, Marcus stepped forward and grabbed the alien by what roughly corresponded to a collar on his biosuit. The Zephyrian commander, who had never been touched by prey before, froze in shock. "We don't fight them in ritual combat," Marcus said calmly. "We call the cops." What happened next would be discussed in Zephyrian military academies for generations. Marcus, displaying the casual violence of a species that had spent millennia fighting everything from saber-toothed tigers to each other, simply began dragging the 7-foot alien toward what looked like an airlock. "Wait!" Vexthul screeched, suddenly understanding why his prey analysis had focused so heavily on this species' persistence hunting abilities. "This is not how honorable combat—" "Honorable?" Marcus laughed. "You came to my planet, interrupted my lunch, and threatened my entire species. You picked the wrong neighborhood, bug boy." The alien tried to activate his energy weapons, but Marcus had already identified the power nodes on his suit and systematically began tearing them out with the methodical efficiency of someone who fixed broken machinery for a living. Sparks flew as each system failed. "The thing about humans," Marcus continued conversationally as he continued dismantling the galaxy's most feared predator, "is that we're not actually warriors. We're just stubborn mechanics who got really good at problem solving. And right now, you're my problem." Within minutes, Commander Vexthul found himself stripped of his weapons, his suit disabled, and locked in his own detention cell while Marcus sat in the command chair, feet up reading the ship's manual. "So, according to this," Marcus called out, "you've been doing this for 3,000 years? Wow. And nobody ever just grabbed you and told you to knock it off?" The proud hunter could only click his mandibles in defeat. Well, here's how this is going to work, Marcus continued. You're going to take all these trophies back to their homeworlds and apologize. Then you're going to find a new hobby. Maybe pottery. I hear pottery's nice. As the apex predator began its journey to return the first of many trophies, Vexthul realized he had learned something profound about humanity. They weren't the strongest or the fastest or the most technologically advanced species in the galaxy. They were something far more terrifying. They were practical. And when something practical decided you were a problem that needed fixing, it didn't matter how legendary you thought you were. You were about to get fixed.